I love holidays. I even wrote a book about holidays and economics about 12 years ago, and it was funny. Holidays connect us to each other, to extended family, to neighbors in history, in the nation, in the world, in the galaxy. Part of me would like to blend Mother's Day and Father's Day into Parents' Day, with a nod to non-traditional families. But I know the Hallmark folks would definitely object. I do, of course, love Thanksgiving and Christmas, but my favorite holidays are the 8 earth and sky holidays of the Celtic year that encourage us to connect with the changing seasons in what we eat, what kind of work and play we choose, how much time we spend outdoors, and what clothing we wear. And speaking of clothing, it's a summer service. I'm going to be talking about the 4th of July and Father's Day, so I am wearing the Founding Fathers. I can only imagine what it must be like to celebrate Christmas in Australia. Just unimaginable. I know they go to the beach. This past week, there were 2 holidays that fell very close together, as they always do, Father's Day and the summer solstice. I grew up without a father, but I dutifully observed Father's Day when my father-in-law and my husband were still alive. Now this partner to Mother's Day has dropped off the radar screen. But recently, I realized how closely Father's Day was linked to 2 other holidays, the summer solstice, when the sun god was at the height of his powers, and the 4th of July, when we honor our founding fathers. The sky holidays are all celebrated at specific times of day. The spring equinox at dawn, the summer solstice at noon, the fall equinox at dusk, and the winter solstice at midnight. If that resonates with Easter sunrise, 4th of July picnics, Halloween, and midnight mass, you're on the right track. A 4th of July picnic is the perfect time to celebrate the zenith of the sun and the sun god. In the Celtic tradition, the equinoxes and solstices are called sky holidays or male holidays. They're associated with the sun god as he spends more or less time in our particular sky. These holidays are bracketed by 2 earth holidays. The festivals, they're all bracketed by 2 earth holidays, but the ones that bracket the summer solstice or Litha is preceded, the 1st of May, by Beltane, which is a fertility festival, when the ancient Celts used to go out and have outdoor sex because they wanted to show the animals and plants how to be fertile and multiply. And they were sacrificing themselves for that noble cause. At the other end, Lughnasadh or Lammas. This is a festival of first harvest expressing thanks for the abundance of Mother Earth. The central myth of the Celtic or Wiccan tradition is the story of the sun god and the mother goddess in her 3 incarnations as maiden mother crone. Crone just lasts from like December 21st, it just lasts from the summer solstice to the Imbolc holiday, the 1st of February. The sun god is born at Yule. He impregnates the maiden sometime, it's not clear exactly when, maybe at Beltane, maybe earlier. At Litha, the summer solstice, the sun god is at the height of his powers, even as the maiden has morphed into the mother goddess blossoming with child. After Litha, the sun god begins to decline, fading into the winter snows, only to be reborn at Yule. Every culture north of the equator has a festival of light in the winter to welcome the returning sun. I find 2 interrelated life lessons in the dance of earth and sun. One is about power over and power with. The other is about binary and non-binary thinking. First, the issue of power. Often we think that power is a zero-sum game. If one person gains power, it's at the expense of another. And it often is, but it doesn't have to be. Power shared results in more power for the group, the family, the congregation, the city, any group or organization. When you empower others, you increase the amount of power to put in the service of the common good or the beloved community. In traditional families, the father is an authority figure with the power to grant or withhold his favor to particular members of the family. Like Shiva in the Hindu religion, The Father has the power to either or both the creator and the destroyer. This hierarchical order is the model for many organizations, governments, religions, corporations, clearly not for UUs. We long ago opted for religious democracy, inherited from the Pilgrims and embodied in our fifth principle. We chose to envision the world as a spectrum, not a set of polar opposites. Like the white dot and the black dot and the white of the yin-yang symbol, our world is a continuous flow, not a pair of opposites. We'll come back to the non-binary part a little later. The summer sun is, as we've well noted in the last few weeks, its power on steroids. It's essential to all life on Earth for warmth and light that enables plants to grow. But the sun can also create deserts and scorch the earth and wilt my plants in my front yard. Mother Earth, likewise, can be moody with earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, hurricanes. But she is our only source of food and shelter. The mother in a traditional family is supposed to be a supporting actress with a quieter, more nurturing role. But that's not the relationship between sun and earth. They are interdependent. The sun has the power to create or destroy, but he cannot create without the active collaboration of his earth partner. This earth and sun story, reduced to human terms, is a story of power with, not power over, about complementarity. It is a story about each of us being not only free, but also responsible for discovering who we are and how to live that person authentically. So on to the binary, non-binary part. Now, I know when you hear the word binary, you immediately go to the B in LGBTQ, yes, but that's how we all learned the word binary if we hadn't learned it before. We weren't unless we were computer programmers or mathematicians. And we're grateful that they brought that word back into our vocabulary because this is Pride Month. But binary is about a lot of other things besides sexual orientation. Binary means seeing the world as black, white, right, wrong, good, evil, not a spectrum of being. We can have nurturing fathers and disciplining mothers. Fathers who like neatness and order, and mothers who engage in what my friend Ellen calls creative mess, even though we expect the opposite. Stereotypes can be useful, but they can also be a tool for squeezing round pegs into square holes. If we use them to define and create and even impose a binary view of roles of men and women. Nowhere is non-binary better exemplified, especially during Pride Month, than in families with two mothers or two fathers sharing roles according to their personalities and strengths. As religious progressives, as tree huggers and egalitarians and seekers of justice, how can we use this cluster of holidays to express and practice our faith as a way to make the world a better place? In a holiday about the heavens and the earth, how can we honor the sun and earth at this time of solstice and as beginning of the turning toward eventual winter? We can start by acknowledging that even the seasons are not binary. Spring and fall, summer and winter. The solstice was, but it's already been pretty summery for a while, and it's actually cooler this week than it was last week. The four sky holidays are based on the length of days, but there's more to summer and winter than the amount of light and darkness. 40 years ago, my husband and I and our 3 children lived in Boulder, Colorado for a year. It snowed 120 inches that year. It snowed on Halloween. It snowed on Beltane, May 1st. On Christmas Day, it was 55 degrees and not a trace of snow. Even in our mild southern climate, it's been known to snow in late March. Spring comes in fits and starts, and so does fall. Nature is offering us an important lesson about the pace of change that sometimes moves backwards or sideways. It challenges our simplistic binary and linear thinking about seasons and what the weather ought to be like. Whether it is gender roles or seasons or anything else in life, we need to be able to see and appreciate the shades of gray or pink or gold. Our national holiday just ahead of us, Independence Day, is part of the solstice sky holiday because, like the sun, the government has the power to create and destroy. And like the earth, government depends on our cooperation to make sure we can meet our shared needs. The 4th of July embodies the summer spirit of the solstice, but it also reminds us that our interdependent web does not just consist of earth and sun, but also the communities we create and sustain, including our nation and our families and our congregations. 4th of July picnics and fireworks and trips to the lake or beach celebrate both solstice and family, community, and country. Like sun and earth, we need to find ways to partner with each other to bring about power with instead of power over as our way of being together. An election year needs to be a time for national conversation and peaceful resolution of differences, to find common ground with people we often think of as the binary other, on guns, racism, abortion rights, and climate change, just to name a few. One of the biggest divides is between those who wish to partner with Earth and Sun to ensure the health, well-being, and sustainability of all living beings on our planet. We can partner with Father Sun by protecting and expanding carbon sinks and by slowing global warming by reducing dependence on fossil fuels. We can partner with Mother Earth by protecting our water and soil from harmful wastes and chemicals, and by controlling human population growth. We can act as individuals by how we live, what we buy, how we tend our little piece of earth, and what we advocate for. In the great philosophical debate over free will and determinism, I've always found myself somewhere in the middle. How much or how little free will we humans have, we can exercise it for the survival and health of the planet we live in, and its tenuous relationship with the sun as creator and destroyer. Yes, there are those, like Dr. Pangloss, that think all will be for the best in this best of all possible worlds, or others who think that whatever happens must be God's will. But the rest of us, who don't live at one of those poles, need to start exercising all the free will we can find in constructive ways to partner with sun, earth, and who or whatever else may or may not be out there. As we look back on Monday's solstice and forward to the 4th of July, and beyond that to the first harvest at Lammas, let us affirm our sense of community with each other, whether it is as simple as foregoing long chemicals and filling a bird feeder, or as ambitious as efforts for social justice or peace and reconciliation. And let us further avoid the poles that divide us and seek the golden mean, the only place to find the common ground that makes it possible to share this community, this nation, and this planet with love, respect, and peace.